You are listening to the Everything Goes podcast.
What's up, everyone? My name is Gus, and on this week's episode, I have Heidi back on the show, and we discuss what most people hear or have heard of the Mamba Mentality, meaning what it takes to succeed. What are you willing to do to succeed, basically? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to put yourself through to achieve a certain goal, to do the come up, to have that chip, that attitude of having that chip on your shoulder? What are you willing to sacrifice? What is it? Are you willing to put everything on the line? What is going to make you succeed, specifically because of the times that we are living? Because a lot of people don't have jobs right now. So some of the people are specifically doing their side hustle. They're YouTubing. They're doing odd jobs. They're doing whatever it takes to survive and succeed and achieve, to never be stopped by what's going on in the world. And in my journey, guys, I have had plenty of those moments, and I'm still having them, obviously, with the rest of the world. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy some of the stories I will give you, because I feel like I've always had that Mamba mentality. I've always had that fire, but for different people, sometimes it takes somebody or somebody's story to light the fire. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? And welcome Heidi back to the Everything Goes podcast. What's up, Heidi?
Hi, guys.
Okay, that's what you wanted? A round of applause?
No.
Is it too loud?
I feel like your intro is like blah. I feel like
So I get that?
yes. I feel like it should be like with energy, like, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Everything Goes podcast.
It's the conversation. It's the fact that we're going to talk and we're going to have a good time doing it.
But it should be like up in energy from beginning to end.
And it is. So that's why I have you here, to bring the energy, Heidi.
All right, go for it.
So this week, I kind of told you I felt really, I want to say pumped. I'm talking about this topic that I want to talk about. I feel really motivated. This topic, I guess, is very, because I hear it a lot now lately because of the quarantine. I see a lot of these posts talking about people having so much time that they have to do the stuff that they've always wanted, meaning like a hustle, side hustle. There is no the Mamba mentality. There is no excuses. Like, stuff that you want, you go out and get. And I've lived by that motto my entire life. And I think this week is the week that I've worked hard this week. I've left it. I felt like I've left it the last couple of weeks out there working towards a goal. And I see it all the time now. And that's what I was talking about with you. It's like, I feel really motivated and I have that fire again. Like, let's do this. One of the reasons is we all have goals, and most people have different goals. The way we attain our goals is different because of the mentality, the mindset that we have. That sometimes when you compare yourself to another person, you might think that person had it easy, but when you really get to know the person and the things they've done and the things they have sacrificed and stuff like that, it's what I think drives me, because I hear some of the stories, some of my just people in general, some friends of mine that I've gotten to where they're at. Or sometimes you see stories like Kobe Bryant and some athletes and some people that are actually really good and wealthy, or not just wealthy, but just, I guess, they've accomplished a lot of their goals and what it took to get there. So that's the top I really wanted to talk about, because I feel like I'm still in that mode, and I've always had it since I was a kid, to be a grinder, to have that fire, that chip on my shoulder. So, and I know I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that grind and that have that fire to succeed, and some of them have completed and are enjoying their goals already. They've accomplished and always looking for the next challenge. So I'm still living my challenge. I feel like I'm almost there, but I feel like all the steps that I've taken have gotten me to where I'm at now. So that's why I felt really motivated to really talk about.
Okay, so for all of us to understand you a little bit more, what steps have you taken and where is it that you want to go to?
Okay, well, like I said, a lot of my goals is because, and it's not like my accomplishments are not just material stuff. There's not, because there's people that their goals are material.
They're based materialistically.
Yes, and somewhat mine are kind of, but not much. Mine was more just to live comfortably, more to have made it out of where I come from, which was I was a fucking growing up. We were just poor as hell. I didn't know the comforts of having a little bit of money. When I was a kid, I was unaware of that. So you lived thinking that that's the way the world worked, that everybody was like you. And then as you grew a little bit older, you found out that it's not like that. Mm-hmm. So those are what shaped me to what I am now and why I had that chip on my shoulder. Let me ask you this question. Do you ever feel that you have grinded, that you have like succeeded in something that was so hard and eventually that you accomplished, not only in your life? I want to hear a story. I want to hear your story.
In the working field, no, I still feel stuck.
Okay, but do you feel like, and I know that you've accomplished one big one, because I saw the struggle, I saw the late nights, I saw dealing with the kids, all that shit.
Mm-hmm. School. Yes, that would be one of the, like, if not the only accomplishment that I feel like I've actually finalized. But everything else in my life, like, is still pending. And to many people, this might sound like it's just an excuse, but in all honesty, it's not. And then again, I don't want it to sound negative also, but the one thing that holds me back are my children.
Okay, yes.
To an extent. Because my team is you only.
No.
Just the players in our team, it's mom and dad.
Yeah.
We don't have grandmas. We don't have sister-in-laws. I don't have my sister. We don't have aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
That we could like leave our children with.
Yeah.
Everybody else is living their own life and they live far and everybody has their own responsibilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So therefore, you and I, our schedules revolve around our children.
Yeah.
That's why you have your work schedule, the hours that you do, and we live in we do the others. Yeah. We do the day stuff and you do the night stuff.
Yeah.
And because it's one or the other, it's just mom and dad. Okay. It's just you and I.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but from me, it started a long time ago. I think it started when I was a kid. That what molded me and stuff like that.
Of course, you had it rough.
My motivation.
You really.
When did that start for you? When you felt like, you know what, I need to accomplish my stuff, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there. When did that start for you?
I felt the stress about it when I became a mom for the second time. Mm. Yeah. Other than that, I was very comfortable. Mm. I grew up. My mom talks about struggles, but I don't remember. Yeah. Because if I didn't get whatever I needed from her, it was from her sisters, which are my aunts. Yeah. So I don't know what no is growing up. And, not until, we married and everything else happened.
You felt the struggle?
I felt reality.
Yeah.
The reality,
Yeah.
And I grew up very... I don't know if you want to call it spoiled, because it's not like I snapped my fingers and I got what I wanted. It's not that. It's just that I didn't know the hard work it took for me to get what I wanted.
Well, you were very privileged.
Privileged, I guess, is the word.
But that's none of your fault.
No.
I think most people have problems with privileged people, or like what you said, spoiled, if they act spoiled.
No, I've never.
But if you're humble, then I have no problem with that. But
yeah. If anything, I always fought with my mom because all of my friends worked. And but now looking back, it's like they had to work.
Yeah, yeah.
They were kind of like in your shoes.
Yeah.
It's, it's like if I want a pair of clothes or a pair of shoes as a teenager, yeah, it's mom and dad is not going to get it for me. So I need to go get a job.
Yeah. You know what's
unlike me, I didn't grow up like that.
I think about it now and I feel a little bit messed up because growing up in the neighborhoods we grew up in, and usually it's the apartments because everybody's pretty much in your own kind of like your own level.
You mean the same financial status?
Yeah, the majority of them when you live in apartments, so you kind of it feels normal to you. Mm-hmm. But when you have that one friend that has real good stuff, I remember a lot of the kids made that person feel uncomfortable. We kind of he felt excluded because he wasn't cool enough to be around us because you're like this rich kid while we're like these like
Poor.
Yeah, and we made it cool to be poor.
Call it what it is.
But it not only did it happen in high school. I mean, I started feeling it. I remember when we were in elementary, 4th, 5th grade, around my kid's age, I started feeling that. But I thought that was normal because everybody in the apartment was living the same life I was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was no different. Not until you got a little older. Until I remember this is where I'm going with this. This is why I felt so motivated because I would say 2 days ago. I'm sorry. I was looking at those videos of Kobe Bryant and his speech about it's not about the hard. It's about the hard work, and it's about what you've accomplished. But it's not what you accomplished. Just to enjoy the journey that you were on
during.
Yeah.
As you're going through the process, it's enjoying that process.
Yeah. So it's the journey of getting there. To enjoy it, don't forget it. That's why you're gonna enjoy it more when you've accomplished that goal. So I was watching his Mamba Mentality videos and all that stuff, and I would go, you know what? I've had this shit all my life. That same chip, that same grinder, like I don't care mentality. It's always been about me, and I guess that's one of the reasons when I was younger, I got on into like the high school level, maybe a little bit after high school. I had that, like, I'm gonna do it my way, like it or not, and that's the same mentality I still have now. It's just a little bit different now. I'm more understanding of other people, where before I didn't care. I felt like if you had money, you were I just didn't want to deal with you. For real. I had resentment towards people like that. But now that I'm older, I know it was not their fault. The majority of it is not their fault. I never had an issue with people that they were humbled about it, but if they throw it in your face, you were like, F you. And I had plenty of that in high school. And I think that's where it started, when it really, like, the chip started for me. But because going back to like the way we grew up, let me give you an example of where it started for me. Can I give you an example? Yeah. And I told you this story. When you're a kid and you're in elementary, they have the student store in elementary, and you go buy your cookie during recess. All my friends used to go running to get their 25-cent cookie or their 10-cent cookie or whatever it was. And I would run with them. But I never bought any cookies. And one kid told me one day, hey, you never buy cookies, dude. Like, what's up with you? What, are your parents poor? Are you poor? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, holy shit. I never even really thought of that, because I wasn't a person either. I wasn't a kid that would ask for, hey, give me some. I wasn't like that. I wasn't grown up like that. I didn't grow up begging or, hey, or can you give me some? No, I was not like that. You eat it, and I wouldn't ask you. I was like, okay, eat it. I would never ask. I never asked anybody to buy me anything. If anything, the only one that would ever hook me up was my cousin. And he'd buy one for himself, and he would look for me and was like, hey, Gus. And that was Roger. Roger would hook me up with a lot of that stuff.
That's sweet of him.
And so that's when it started my hustle. That's when I knew something was up with the style, my lifestyle as a kid. Growing up, that's when you started seeing the differences between kids that had money and kids that didn't have money. So you started seeing me. Most kids would get their nice haircuts, and I would get a bald haircut, because that's what was the easiest for my dad to do. I was like, yeah, we'll just cut his hair bald. So I would go to school like that, and kids would make fun of me. And then back in those days, to be bald, all the kids were like making fun of you, because that wasn't the norm. Everybody had like long hair, combing it, kind of like now, like hair is back in now. So I was in that mood, and then that's when everything started accumulating for me. And then I went to high school, junior high. I remember my first few weeks, a kid told me, why do you always wear those Hawaiian shirts? Because my mom used to make my shirts. Again, it hit me again like a ton of bricks, because in those days you just wear what they tell you.
Your mom being a seamstress, that's the word.
Yeah.
So for her, it was more, saving money. Instead of buying you clothes, she would make you clothes.
Yeah.
And like you said, like you were saying, as a child, you don't think about it twice. What your parents tell you to wear, you just wear it.
Yeah.
And then, so at school is when your friend put you on check, like,
oh, Oh yeah.
What the hell are you wearing?
Because that's when everybody's trying to be cool around that time. They got the shoes, and I was wearing Payless shoes at the time. They weren't that expensive, so I didn't know any of that. I just thought I looked decent.
Of course, you were a kid.
I was walking,
You're not supposed to know about brands. You shouldn't.
I was in 6th grade. I remember vividly. I was walking up the stairs at Virgil High, middle school, the junior high. I was going up the stairs from PE, and one of my friends that I had another class, he was all like coming down the stairs to PE, and he's all like, "Damn, Gus, why are you always wearing those Hawaiian shirts?" Or that's all you have. It's something like something in that
that format.
Yeah, but he said in front of everybody while I was walking by, kind of making fun of me. I was like, "Why you always wear those fucking Hawaiian shirts? Don't you have any other shirts?" And this is a kid that would always wear. At the time, I didn't know what it was, but they had polo shirts with a tiger on it, and he was always looking. I would say now that I'm thinking about it, he would look decent. Like he had some style, I guess. And he had tennis shoes, Reeboks, whatever. He would look, like the part. Where I didn't. And that's when I started like, holy shit, he's right. And that's when I started kind of looking at myself and like, damn, homie, I don't have a haircut. I don't have
money to go buy snacks.
Stuff like that, yes. That's when you started seeing. So this is where I cooped up this thing. In L.A., because we used to live in Echo Park, we used to have... My mom used to give me $1.10 to go on the freeway bus, on the bus to go to school, and then another $1.10 to come back. So I figured, I get up early and walk to school. To walk to school was 5 mile. It was like 5 miles every day, front and back.
So 10 miles.
So yeah, so 5 to get over there and 5 to come back. So I knew by the end of the day I would have 220. So I would do that. Back and forth.
How old were you again?
I was in 6th grade, so probably like 11, 12 years old. Something like 12 years old, I would say. Something like that. And I would get there. And I would... I feel bad about it, but my cousin, Roger, again, he would go... my cousin Roger is like a year older than me. Not even a year old. He's like 2 months older than me. And he had a bus pass. But yet I would have him go with me walking, and I remember this so vividly. He'd be like, "Man, mother effer, like, why am I following you when I have a bus pass?" And he would laugh about it because he was always like a jokester.
Yeah,
it's like, why do I even have to come with you? I could just meet you at the bus stop. I'll meet you in half an hour or something.
Yeah.
But I would like, just come with me, man. I would make him come with me, and he did that shit all the time with me. So by the end of the week, I would have like $10 or almost $11, something like that. And then I would split that with my brother, which I at the time I don't know why, but I always had that. I mean it's my money, but I always had the mentality to just.
It's because you have a good heart, Gus.
But I didn't think about it. It was always about sharing. So those are the little stories that I remember about like where my hustle started.
Yeah.
This is another one. I used to do homework. This is how I made my extra money, and this is why I go back to the journey. So this is my journey, I guess, to why I do the things that I do now. So in high school, in junior high again, in 6th grade, I used to draw, and I was a really good drawer for real. So I used to sell my drawings. So I used to have friends because I don't know if you guys remember, like when you go to school, you'd have your own folder, and some of the folders have like this plastic in the middle, like in the front, and then you would put your pictures there. I would do that. And kids be like, "Damn, did you drew that?" Or I would draw like Ghost Rider, like Wolverine, and all that stuff. And people were like, "Damn, dude, I'll buy it off you." That's when I was like, "Damn, you would?" He's like, "Yeah, I'd buy it." And I would get my side hustle, another one there. And then I would do my homework. Guess what? People were like, "Hey, why don't you do my homework, bro?" I'm like, "I'll do your homework if you pay me." Okay, bam. I started doing that, and this all started in 6th grade.
Yeah.
In 6th grade. So that's how it started for me. I knew that I had a place and things that I wanted, so I was going to get them no matter how I wanted to get them. And that's when I also found out that there was other kids, when they call a hustle, they call it, the other type of hustle, like dealing stuff and stuff like that. It's another type of hustle. It's not no longer what we see now. It's your side hustle, doing makeup, and all that stuff. No, that was the hustle. That was the original hustle, selling. So that's where it started for me. And
selling drugs?
Yeah. Well, I never sold. That's what I'm saying. But there was kids that would do it. I go, man, and they would do it. And I was always like, nah, I'm good. Well, this is another one. So as I grew older, that's how I started doing all through junior high. When I got to high school, my brother, I'm not gonna say where he got these pagers from. And back in the day, like in the 90s, everybody remembers having pagers. That was the thing. This is before cell phones. Like, yeah, you were cool when you had your own pager. People paging you, like messages, text messages, and all that shit backwards. So my brother was like, "Hey, you know how to sell it? I'll sell him, bro. But I get a cut." He would never. I would never ask where he got them, but I would sell them at school. I would sell them at school for like $25, $20. They would sell out. They would sell out, and I was like, man, I don't know where these kids get this money, but hey, I had money at the time, and it wasn't like, for me, I'm old school. I had that old school mentality. It wasn't about spending the money; it was about what I could keep in the bank.
Yeah, the total.
Yeah, because it was like that before. It was like that. So I got this question for you: Do you ever did that in junior high?
No, never.
Never. Wow.
Never. If anything, my cousin, the one that I grew up with, because we're 6 months apart, Juan Carlos.
Yeah.
I remember him actually having his mom buy soda cans.
Yeah.
And the blow pops, the candies. And as soon as we would get home from school, well, he waited for his mom to pick him up. He would go around my aunt's, another aunt.
Yeah.
The apartment complex. He would knock on the doors and start selling them.
See, that's a hustle right there.
Yeah.
See, that's the type of mentality that not everybody has.
No, and he had no shame.
See, that's the thing.
He had no shame. He would be like, oh, and then eventually the apartment complex knew where my aunt lived.
Yeah.
So they would go knock on the door and be like, oh, no me puede vender una gaseosa.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, can you please sell me like a soda?
Yeah, yeah.
Or other kids like, can you please sell me the blow pops?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's always been Juan Carlos though.
That's crazy. But see, that's the thing. Not everybody has that mentality, and not everybody understands it either. Because people would be like, why do you do that? Why can't you ask? Why can't at the time, when you're a kid, why can't you ask your parents for money? Yeah. I knew from the very beginning that my parents didn't have the money, because everything I would ask, it was a no. So I learned very early in my life and my brother's life that if we wanted something, we had to go get it ourselves. And this is another story I'm going to give you. Now, we're in high school. I'm in junior high, I want to say.
No, high school.
No, he was in high school. I was in junior high. I was like in 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
And he was in high school. And we decided, you know what? We want to buy a video game system, the Sega Genesis. And what do? We started collecting cans. And when I say we started collecting cans, I'm talking about that was the job after school. We would go around every alley, every trash bin. And granted, dude, I'm a kid. At the time, I was a kid that was very shy. I was very shy when it came to stuff like that. I didn't want to go in the trash can. My brother had no shame. He would jump in the big trash cans, jump in there like nothing. He would jump inside. Most people wouldn't do that. Only like homeless people would do that. But my brother was like in there, and see, that's another guy that hustles. But
yeah, that I'll give him.
Yeah, and so for us it started very early. So I'm gonna give you an example. So it took us about a month to collect as much. At the time, it was about maybe like $300, the Sega Genesis. And so that's what we did. And we went at night, on Friday nights, we stayed up till 10 collecting cans behind like the store. Not even the stores, like, what is it called? Like Burger King and Jack in the Box and all those big places that had like these big trash cans. And I would see my brother in there jumping all the time because I wouldn't jump in there. I was like, hell no, I'm not jumping in there. So that's another one. So that's how we got our first entertainment system, our first video game system console. So we had to do that stuff. So these are the little stories that kind of like got me to where I'm at. Now, in high school, I knew I didn't have the money for football. And in football, you had to pay about $300 for your jerseys, your practice, and this. And guess what? I had to go to work with my friend Alvin. So I don't know if you heard that episode where I'm with him and we talk about how his dad used to hire me in the summer to to help them clean homes because that was his business. He would renovate them or something like that. And like this one place, he would pay me to go help out and like take all the trash out. Any stuff that didn't belong in that house, we would take it out. He had a bin and we threw it in the bag. Well, specifically, that's what I would do during the summer. I would work with them. And this specific day, I was cleaning the gutters on top of the I think it's the rain drainage on the home. And I was on top and I was in the ladder and the ladder fell off and I was hanging on the side of the roof. Because usually what happens is that somebody's supposed to hold it. Alvin was supposed to be holding it and he walked away while I'm like reaching over or whatever, grabbing the leaves off to clean it out. You know, I lost my balance and I lost the fucking ladder and I was like hanging on by my fingers and I fell all the way down and I hit the brush and the bushes and everything there. I remember my wind came out and all that stuff, and all I remember is looking up, seeing Alvin just laughing. I'm talking about hilarious. Oh my God, what are you doing, man? Like so, he remembers. He said it. He's like, I remember you hanging and slowly you fell back. Well, of course, I had no grip anymore.
Yeah.
So luckily I didn't break anything, but he said he couldn't. I remember him. He couldn't stop laughing. He said that if we would have told his dad would have killed us if I would have broken something and stuff like that. So just little things like that. That's how I started learning the things that I would never ask my pops, never, and never did I do anything illegal. And it just little things like that eventually started molding me in the way I felt about certain people and certain things. So in life in general, this is why I felt so motivated when I came home the other day, looking at that and looking at stuff like that, remembering my path, my journey, what got me. So I opened up my phone the other day when I was looking at when I was eating breakfast or my dinner breakfast, and it was a picture of a kid that said, back in my day, hard work meant this. And there's a kid with he said he's trying to make money, so he was lawn mowing. He was doing the lawn, and it's a picture of him just struggling with the lawnmower, and that's how he got extra money. So it kind of took me back to my childhood, like stuff doing like hustling at when I was a kid. So that's the way I make my money. Did you ever have anything like that in high school where you had to struggle and make your own money and stuff like that?
No, never. My mom had one rule, and the rule was only A's and B's in school.
Oh, those were my rules too.
And you get whatever you ask.
Damn.
And I never had the option to say yes or no, Mom, I want to go to work with you today. It was like tomorrow in the morning, meaning like Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
You're getting up early and we're going to work, period. End of story. And sometimes I remember crying because I wanted to go with my cousins. It was their birthday parties or they were going on a road trip. And I always missed out. Always. A lot of family vacations. Yeah. I missed out because I was always at the restaurant working with my mom. I never got compensated for it. Me working and getting paid. Never, but I was there. I've always been there helping my mom out. I mean, I guess that's a form of working. I don't know, but
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
so no, I get it.
I never had that experience that you went through. So, like okay, I want to be in this team, so therefore I need to come up with X amount of money. No, I never went through that. It was like, Mom, I want to join soccer because I was in soccer. I was in track and I was in flag team. And my mom was like, okay, where do I sign? Here's the check, whatever.
Yeah. So now that you brought up the sports thing, I also ran track in high school. So while I was a ninth grader, my brother was a senior. And we ran track and we ran the 100 and all the fast races or whatever. And in between races, he would run his race. And then we would switch off. He would let me borrow the cleats, his cleats. and I would run in those cleats because my dad was not gonna buy cleats for both of us. So my dad was one of those parents that he provided food,
And
shelter,
roof. Yeah.
and roof and all that stuff. But when it came to sports and comic, all that stuff, he didn't give a damn. That wasn't his thing. You know, he was the only one that worked. So we knew that we had to come up with the money ourselves, no matter what, and that's what we did. So it started a long time ago. We knew that eventually, as older kids or older teens, that life was gonna be just like that. We were just gonna have to provide for ourselves. My dad was never gonna be there financially. So, and to this day, it's still like that.
Yes, it is.
So I don't depend on anybody but myself.
Yeah, to me, it was actually kind of like if you want to say it, like a culture shock.
Yeah.
When I met you, that your parents were like that. Because in my circle, all parents would, okay, you guys, as soon as you're done with high school, you have to go to college.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my circle where I come from. There's no ifs or buts about not going to college. You're going to college, and we're helping you out.
Yeah.
And then when I met you and I heard, your brother's story, your story, and your sister's stories, it's like as soon as you guys turned 16, 17, go get a job.
I think the one thing for me, right before high school ended, it was my senior year. I had to quit football because my brother left the house and my dad was unemployed. And I think that kind of scorned me really bad because I started hating my life. Not my life, but the type of life I was living. The type of life that
you were forced to
live, yes. Mm-hmm. And I started feeling like pissed off all the time. Like, fuck this. Why do I have to do it? Why do I work and I don't even get to spend my own money? Like, I started feeling that because I was senior in high school and I would see my friends working, but they would keep their own money. They would buy this and this and that. No, when I worked and then I got my check, I had to give it to my parents to help out. So that's where it all started. Mm-hmm. I started feeling that ugly feeling. That's the chip that I had.
Share with your audience too, the fact that your dad had you quit the football team your senior year.
Well, that was it. I mean, I quit. I had to. He's all like, man, you need to help out here.
And your coach went to go talk to him.
Oh, yeah, my dad. Yeah, so our coach came over and spoke to him. Hey, man, like, your son is a really good athlete. This is his high school year. This is his senior year. And my dad didn't give a damn. He's like, well, that's the way it is. You got to help the family.
Yeah.
So...
and you even had like a scholarship for football?
No, not a scholarship. I don't even have no scholarship, but still, it's your senior year. When you're
that situation.
No, I wish. I wish if that was the case.
I thought.
I don't think if that was the case, I would have never left football. But no. So the coach came, spoke with my dad, and he's like, nope.
Resentment.
Yeah, the resentment,
anger,
the resentment.
The why me? Why as a, because you're still a kid.
Yeah.
Why do I have to sacrifice for an adult situation?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you see your friends living life their senior year, and here you are finding yourself. Yeah. By the way, you have to quit your sport that you love because you have to help your family. So,
and not only this, look, throughout high school, right before every football game, we would go out and eat as a team or as friends. You would have like this 2-3 hours to kill before you had to come back to the locker room and get ready to play ball. And I remember there was times where I only had like $5 or sometimes I only had $3. And my friend Alvin would hook me up. He's all like, and I would never ask. Never. That wasn't in me. I wasn't asked. I was just gonna, if anything, I would just buy maybe a burger with those $3 and that was it. I would eat the burger. But there was times where I didn't have anything, so I was like, no, I'm not gonna eat. I'm good. It was like, Gus, book that shit, like, and Alvin would hook me up. He would. I'll be honest with you, he would, and I feel so embarrassed, and I used to tell him, thanks, bro. But those are the things that humble you. I make sure that when I got older, like stuff like that was not gonna happen. Mm-hmm. For real. Those are the things that humbled me, that I resented about the world. That it was not fair. That's when I knew shit was not fair because, believe it or not, some of my friends, they were very well off. Very well off, Heidi. Like some of my, like there was one friend that I know, I'm not going to mention, that was, we were very close. Like, status wise, I would say. But the rest of them, they were very well off. Their families had homes, real nice homes. They had cars, all that stuff. I didn't. So I would compare kind of my life to theirs, and I was kind of like a little bitter, I would say.
Like, where did my parents go wrong?
Yes. And one time, I would say in high school, or maybe a little bit out of high school, they invited my friends. I guess it was a birthday cake that they were gonna sing for me. I came back from work, and my friends were standing outside of my house, and I don't think those side of my friends had ever been into my house ever. I've had like the ones I would always mess around with, like play ball. They knew my house was small, but they came in and they were like, "Holy shit, this is your house, so small, the pink house."
Yeah, that me too.
So that and
When I stepped in there, I was like, "Holy shit!"
so that's reality. But see, that's what dreams are made of.
Yeah.
Because I was never the type of person that was be comfortable. Because there's a lot of people that just get comfortable and say, "Fuck it." They want to be mantenidos by the system.
Yeah, there's people that take advantage of the government.
I wasn't one of them. This is the one thing I'll say about my pops. My pops was a very strict person, but the one thing he would never do, he was so what's the word, prideful, that he would never take a handout. He'd rather work for it, and he's not gonna go out there and take advantage of the system, because there's a lot of people that I know that do that. And then you look at their lives and you go, okay, now I know why you're lazy ass. Because there's a lot of I've known a lot, and I still know a lot of people like that. So what I do now, I'm like, oh man, I just do that, and I go ahead and I leave. Because when I was younger, I would say, damn, I would have a lot to say about that. But you know what? I remember I have the saying now that life has a hard way of hitting these people in the face.
Yeah, karma.
For real.
Yes, I remember. I've been with you for 15 years, and as you're talking right now, I'm backtracking. When I first met, your family in that pink house, very, very humble living, to where you guys are at now.
Yeah,
it's very it's a very gratifying feeling to see how your family has evolved.
Yeah.
Your sisters individually, your parents, and I now I know your grandma, and it's just beautiful to see them where they were at 15 years ago and where they are now.
Yeah.
And then us ourselves going through our own ups and downs. I mean, sacrifices do pay off.
So I think around that time is when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna make it my own. I'm gonna do it. I'll work, I don't give a damn, 50, 60 hours for real, and I'm gonna do it myself. I think that's one of the reasons why once I got out of high school, I had a job, and then I started working at a second job, and I was still trying to go to school. But I tell you, now that I'm fucking in my 40s, I tell you, man, I don't know how the hell I did it when I was like 19, 20 years old. And my thing is to tell you that the reason I did it is because you didn't know any better. You just did it. That was it.
Yeah, when I met you, you had 2 jobs.
So it was like that. You were trying to go to school. I was trying to stay in shape. I was trying to do this. Now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm too tired. I can't do that shit no more. I'm working like 10, 11 hours right now, and I'm like, fuck this. Can't do this shit no more.
Yeah.
But the struggles, you know what? I tell myself, you know what? I've earned this. I've earned to work just 8 hours. I don't need to work 12 hours no more. Because growing up, you always have those friends that come, shut up, just stop whining, la la la. And I'm one of those people. I don't want to hear you whining, because if I hear you whining, I'll be like, I'll jump on you too.
Yeah.
So I don't like when I hear my friends telling me like about my gout or my arthritis and all that shit, like, and they kind of make fun of it, is because I would make fun of it myself too if like they had something like that, but not in a mean way. So that's just another way that motivates me, man. I was like, man, they don't know, like, stuff like that. They don't know my condition. They don't know that I'm not messing around or whatever. Nobody's ever gonna. This is the thing, Heidi. Nobody understands and never gonna know your struggle. Nobody, until they walk in your shoes.
And the on the brutal truth is that nobody cares.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But honestly, nobody cares about you.
Yeah.
Poor you. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Well, that's the world we live
You
in.
put yourself in that situation. Now you figure it out.
Yeah. And I'm glad when I hear stories about people that have succeeded, I feel happy for them. I really do, because that's a place where I want to be at one day. I want to have fulfilled my life, my goals. But I remember I told you I'm not much of a materialistic person, but the only thing I'm missing is probably my house, because I have my family. I have my wife.
I see that about you. It's like you have almost the puzzle complete with the exception of your home.
So
you owning your own home.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't because, I mean, I'm a guy and I want my nice car too. I'm not gonna lie. I like those things. I like electronics, but I don't have the biggest TV, but I go and I want the furniture. I want to look, but we don't do that because we want a house first. And
it's just priorities.
Yeah.
You know, as a family, our priorities are different than somebody else.
Yeah, I think one of my things now that I'm older, and that's why I guess I look back and I reminisce on the time what kind of molded me, is my kids. I see my kids and I see them laughing. I see their smile. They're good kids, very good kids, and I kind of like, damn, dude. Like I tell myself, like, damn, these guys are never gonna understand what Daddy went through.
You know how they're growing up?
Yeah,
that's how I grew up.
So and that's good. That's why,
like when you tell me the stories that, if anything, maybe once a year your family would go to McDonald's.
Yeah, maybe.
I remember growing up in McDonald's.
Man, we used to go to the Glendale Galleria.
My aunt would take us like right after school. If it wasn't McDonald's, then it would be Baskin Robbins.
Oh damn, not us. We ended up like, this is the thing too. The summer it was hot, so where we would go to Glendale Galleria to window shop, and because it had AC in there.
You know what I would do every summer? My mom will obviously pay for me, and then my cousins, their parents, which is my aunts, they would ship all of us 7 to like 9 kids with my grandma to El Salvador. We were in El Salvador living our best lives. Yeah. Summer vacation over there for 3 months.
See, that's nice. That's nice.
Every summer.
I mean, well, now that I'm a grown-up, Heidi, if I could do that for my kids, I would. Because I understand now that some parents have worked fucking hard.
Well, that's the reason. Because, you know, my mom was and is a single mom. So to her, she felt it safer knowing that I was with her mom, my grandma, in El Salvador, you know, living my best life because my grandma would take us everywhere. Yeah. Well, my mom just had to focus, you know, about working.
Yeah.
And not feeling guilty about the long hours because she needs to come home to her daughter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why a lot of parents put their kids like in summer camp and things like that. It's not always because it's a privilege. Sometimes it's a necessity. Yeah. In order for the parents to keep on working the long hours, the overtime or whatever it is.
So, I mean, our kids go to a private school, and I told you that there's a big difference. I see a lot of successful people, and I've seen a lot. And this is the thing with successful people. I would say the majority of them have worked very hard to where they're at. Meaning they put in the hours, they put in the work. And I was one of those people that would look at these type of people and say, damn, these people are spoiled. But never that once that I think of the hard work they had to go through and put themselves through, or their families, the things they had to sacrifice. Because if you look at not everybody's, but most of their journeys, they've worked hard. Mm-hmm. They've had to work hard to sustain their lifestyle and the way they live. So now that I'm an adult and I feel like I'm like at the brink of succeeding, one of my last goals, believe it or not, is I know the struggle. I've struggled so bad. You don't understand. I've struggled. Mm-hmm. We've struggled. You've seen the last 15 years of just being together, the struggle that we've been through. Yeah. And then now we're living comfortably. Mm-hmm. We have our kids, look, they're in there watching TV. They've had video games. They have YouTube channels and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's a life that that I would have loved to have had growing up. They go to sports. They have no worries. My youngest son is talking about buying a home, so we could buy a home for his YouTube videos.
Oh yeah, he's talking about little Lucas is coming up with a plan of how to become rich.
Yeah. So see, but those are the big dreams that you're supposed to have as a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't have those big dreams.
And just so your listeners know, Gus and I are very open with our children. I specifically like to have money conversations with them. I have this thing with them that they recycle themselves, like, their water bottles, soda cans, whatever. Sometimes when Gus drinks, his beer bottles, we recycle it, and I take the boys to our local recycling center, and that money that they get, they divide it and between them two, and it goes to their savings account. So I have an open relationship with my boys of the value of money. I want them to understand, here's $5, $8, $3. If you spend it, this is how much you're going to have. Yeah. And if you keep it, it could keep on growing. So that's why our boys are always talking. Like, you might hear their conversations here and there, but they're well aware of the value of money.
Yeah. Well, they know. They know.
Yeah, and then sometimes when Gus and I do say, no, we're not going to buy you this because we just bought you a book or a video game, or we just got you, the food you asked for. They come up to me and they're like, here, Mom, here's what I want. Here's the money. I got it out of my piggy bank. And I'm like, okay, so in their mind, they're paying me. But what I do when they don't notice is I put back the money into their piggy bank.
And we'll pay for it.
Yeah. But at least they know, the knowledge of money.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. My kids they work for them. They work hard. They do their part in school. They do their part in sports. And they do their part at home.
Yeah.
So it's not like they just get away with whatever they want. No, because it doesn't work like that with me. And that's one of the reasons I am, as a parent, tough on them.
You are.
But specifically with boys, because you have to. You can't just give them whatever they want. No, you have to work for it.
You're a tough daddy.
And this is the thing too about men, specifically because I got young boys, and as a man myself, I have to guide them, make sure they're when my job is done when my job as a dad is done, that I've done a very well to make sure that they're ready for the real world, because the real world is not just yes or no. They're gonna have failures, they're gonna have tough times, but knowing that they're gonna be ready for the real world, and obviously that has their back no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is the other thing too. As parents, I think the majority of us don't want our kids to live the life that we are living, that we have lived. So
So in your end, you don't want your children to feel that there's lack of money.
Oh yeah.
In the family. With me, it's different because I grew up different than you. With me is, I don't want my children feeling alone.
Okay.
I don't want my children feeling, oh man, I'm going to play this important game, but my mom's not going to be here.
Yeah.
Because mom has to work. Because that was my story.
Yeah.
My mom was always working.
Yeah.
Always working. So I was always alone.
Yeah.
So me with my kids, I always want to be present in anything, from school or sports activities, or like sometimes, I take them out to, I don't know, Menchie's, go get some yogurt, and we just sit there and talk, engage with one another, or watch a movie or video games. I just want to be there with them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that.
Okay.
So with you, it's money wise, making sure that they are secure.
Yeah.
Me, it's me being present with them.
Yeah. But it's the life that I want to give them. That's what motivates me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what motivates me the most, I think. And it started a long time ago, like I said, because I don't want. This is the thing. I think the majority of the people too that have struggled all their life, because we have friends that have struggled, that are still struggling, that sometimes they need to hear a different perspective from other people's struggles. And
if they want to hear it.
But sometimes it's good to hear somebody that's perspective, because then you see, I go,
if
damn,
you're open to it, yes.
Yeah, because
if
you hear
you're
their
not, then it's like whatever.
no, because you hear their stories, and then you say, God damn, I don't have it that bad. Or maybe I'm like, damn, what can I do to be like that person? So this is the other thing. When I meet people that have been very successful in my past, I used to tell them, damn, how did you get to where you're at? And people don't understand that. For real. And the reason I ask those questions is because I grew up not knowing anything. I was looking at life by myself, believe it or not. My dad wasn't much of a guidance, I would say. He didn't tell me what to do after high school, what college, or no. It was just about getting a job and helping the family. That's all I remember. He wasn't guiding me over here, over there, over here. No.
That's so unfortunate.
And I was never, this is the other thing too. This is, I think, one of the biggest things in life. People say hard work determines a lot of stuff. And it does. Because you're going to get, this is where I get this feeling about people getting hooked up with jobs. And it's true. You see a lot of people getting hooked up with jobs. It's who you know.
Yeah, I could argue that.
But this is the thing. Yeah, you could get hooked up, but if you don't have the knowledge, willing and ready to do whatever it takes to succeed at that job, that's where it's gonna come out that you're not the greatest worker.
That's what I was gonna say. Anybody can get you the job per se, you know.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to keep it.
Yeah. And
to grow from there.
Listen, I'm gonna give you this. Everybody knows where I work. I work for this brown company, and I'm succeeding now. I'm getting to where I want to be at, financially and all that stuff. It's stable. It's coming in. Everything that I've known that was gonna happen is happening. Mm-hmm. Now, people don't understand when they see me on the street. They're like, "Oh man, you work for so and so? Damn, they real good job. They pay real good."
I hear that all the time.
And oh man, great health benefits. And I'm like, yeah. But you don't know what I've been through.
I always, when, because I'm the one that takes the kids to the doctor and whatnot. But as soon as I show them our insurance card and they see the company you work for, they always say, the doctors or the medical assistants, they always say, "Oh, you're very lucky. Your husband's very lucky." And then in my mind, I'm just like, yeah, very lucky, but to an extent, because all the wear and tear, he's all fucked up now.
Well, see, okay, well, let me give you that.
He's an 80-year-old guy in a 40-year-old body.
Yeah. But they had no choice. I had no education. I didn't finish college. I mean, GED.
Well, you did have a choice, but you chose to stick with UPS and make it your career.
Yeah, but like I said, but I didn't have any choice. I mean, my oldest was coming, and I had to decide to stick with it or stay. Because for a long time, I've always had one foot in and the other foot out, where I didn't kind of dedicate my to that job. I didn't want to stay there. I didn't want to. I always felt like, man, there's other better stuff, and that's how I felt. Not until I fully committed myself to the job that it became easier. But this is what people don't understand when and it goes with any job. If you're successful and you have this big ass house and you do this, you do that, there's some sacrifice you put in there. I'm gonna give you an example. Some of the people that say, "Oh man, like CEOs, they make so much money, but they're never home. Never. They get there at 8 a.m. and they don't get there till like 8 p.m. You don't see that. You like the more you make, the more responsibility they
responsibilities.
Yes. You gotta be real lucky to have a real good paying job. Really good. That's only 8 hours. And there are jobs like that. But for the other people that have to work hard, they have to put in the money, they have to put the time and the work, the sweat, that's why I asked you about. I saw your struggle when you were with trying to complete school. Mm-hmm. I saw it. You were grinding. You weren't sleeping. You had a newborn. You were going here, you were going there. You went to school every semester, fucking
back.
fall, spring, winter,
Summer.
summer. See, but that's the struggle. That's the hard work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Who wants it? Go get it. That's the way I've always felt, and this is why I tell everybody my motivation. That's what I've always had. I want it. Go get it. There's no excuses.
Yeah.
You know, Dupree always makes, because we go back and forth and we talk about, just do it. Well, yeah, of course. I've always had that. I've had it before I known you. I've always had it in me. The difference is that it had started a long time ago. And this is another one. I saw Dupree when he was in school and at work. He struggled. And there's a lot of, college students like that. They're supposed to struggle. It's part of life when you're young, when you're a young adult. But now I see him and he's he's successful. He has a family, he has a home. And I feel very happy for people like that, or friends like that. I do.
Me too.
Rude dog. I have nothing. But then I see a person that struggles, and they've always cheated life and cheated in every parts of whatever they've done.
I don't feel sorry for those people.
I don't either. Because they live their life like that too.
Yeah, and they're continuing living it.
And they always blame other people. They always blame other people. I don't know if you noticed that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They blame this, they blame that. No. I tell everybody, look in the mirror and start with that person in there.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm giving myself my own crying party, like poor Heidi.
Yeah.
You come into my mind a lot, Gus. Believe it or not. And I have your voice ringing in my brain. Look at yourself in the mirror and put on your big girl panties on.
Yeah.
And then that's when I calm my anxiety, I want to work.
Yeah.
It's not that I want to be here. I want to work. It's just that who do I leave the boys with?
Yeah.
Because you're working.
I think for me, I have that no excuses, no matter what. And I told you.
But that's easier for men, though.
Yeah, but
for women, it's a little bit harder. Because let's switch it around. Let's say I'm the one with the job.
Yeah.
And let's say you're here. You have all these job opportunities that come up to you. But you got the boys. How do you go about that?
I don't know, but I know this is the way I would tell you. You're telling me that, and I would tell you no excuses, Heidi. And I would tell you this. There's a bunch of moms out there that do exactly that, and they figure it out. And you're going to figure it out. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, but then when I start doing numbers, I have to pay for that.
No, but I get it. They're young right now, but as they grow older, they're going to be a little bit easier. Everything's going to be a little bit easier. I told you that.
I think you want to understand, or you're trying to understand, but you don't get it.
No.
And I think maybe a lot of moms that might be in the same situation as me might understand me.
Yeah, but there's other moms that have 3-4 kids, and
they have backup. They have X, Y, and Z people that they can count on, that they can rely on to go get the children.
Yeah.
Go pick them up for them.
But again, like I said, remember, this is no excuses. No excuses, because remember, nobody cares. And this is the one thing that I learned. I told you about my disability, because this is a damn disability.
What's your disability?
For people that don't know, arthritis, and it's rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disorder that fucks up my joints, and I end up walking like an old man when it gets inflamed, and it's really bad. I take this fucking medication that fucks me up, and people don't understand when I tell them that. When I tell at work or friends, they don't care.
Yes, because to the common eye, you look normal.
Yes. So, and I told you, you said it earlier. When you tell somebody, it's like, oh, pobrecito, but who cares? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been honest with you. Sometimes you're here, like, giving yourself your own, like, poor me, like, I'm in so much pain, Heidi, like, you don't understand. And I'm just like, I already heard this song already, Gus.
Yeah, but you're the only one I could.
No, I get it, granted.
You're the only one that I could bitch about, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then I smoke, and then I go to sleep, and I do it all over again.
Yeah.
But that's because I have to. No matter what, I gotta get up. There's times where you're like, guys, you just stay home. Like, no, I gotta go. But But that's the way it is. That's the mentality. Not everybody has this type of mentality. Not everybody has the Michael Jordan mentality. You saw the Netflix show. He was grinding, man. He was up in the morning. He was grinding, and people don't understand how people do that. And there's people at work that do that.
Listen, we would be in a perfect world if, as parents, because listen, I'm gonna say this straight out. If you're single and you're not, hustling here and there, then that's on you.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you have children, it changes a little bit.
Yeah.
Things get a little bit more complicated. It doesn't mean it's not doable. Yes, it's doable if you have a support system. But it does change because, again, your priorities you're basically like on their schedule.
Yeah.
You have to accommodate everything to the time they go into school, the time they get out, the early dismissals.
Yeah.
If they have tutoring, if you have to take them to, X, Y, and Z sport, So, I mean, it's easier if it would be so easy in a perfect world for all of us just to, get up in the morning, just worry about ourselves and go to work and make as much money as you can and come back home and have dinner and sleep and do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that. That's not real life.
Yeah, it's not real life.
That's not real life because there's a home to maintain and that's hard work too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not recognizable. It's not paid for. It's undervalued, but it is work.
Yeah. Lately, I would say I've been working a lot of hours. So when people tell me, again, Dupree's always like, and it doesn't faze me. It just, I don't expect anybody to care or to understand, that I'm tired because nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no excuses. If you want to do something, just do it. No matter how tired you are, no matter how many kids you have, no matter what, it's really up to you. And that's what I try to get done on Saturdays and Sundays on the weekends and stuff like that. That's why we're recording on a Saturday afternoon today.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to figure out something. Like there's things that I want to do and I just want to do them. That's it.
Yeah. That's why I'm running on 3 hours of sleep too.
Like when people tell me that, I'm like, you're talking to the wrong person. I've been living this life. This is my life.
Well, people that don't know you.
Yeah. But I've been doing it for a long time. I've had 2 jobs. I've had a job. I used to work 12-hour days, 13-hour days, because I used to work 5 at my first job and then another 8 after and stuff like that. I've done it. I've been through it. Mm-hmm. I know what hard work is. I know, everything that was given to me is because I've earned it. So whenever I have people that... whenever I hear excuses, because I don't deal well with excuses. Whenever I have excuses or I hear excuses about people not getting stuff done, I have the same reaction. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Specifically, if you were born in this country. I've spoken about that before. I wasn't born in this country. Nothing was given to me. I don't take nothing for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take nothing for granted. I've earned everything. Specifically with this job. Let me go back to this job. Everybody says, oh, you're lucky, this and that, la, la, la. I told you how I met this job. I asked for... So when I went to my first job interview, I had to go in the morning. I had to go at 11 o'clock at night, matter of fact. Because it was for the night shift. So I ended up getting there. And then they told me, you know what? You're going to have to come back because I only have an opening for the morning shift, which was at the 4 or 5 in the morning. They told me to be there at 4 in the morning. Show up. And I'm there waiting with the security guard. And then they're like, oh... They called the lady and it's like, oh, she forgot. Come back tomorrow. This is 4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I lose sleep and I was like, fuck, okay. Came back the next day. She showed up an hour late. The HR lady showed up an hour late. So I had to go several times. So most people would have given up. Most people would.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. It took me several times to get into where I work. I'm benefiting the
your time.
Yeah.
That you've been putting in.
Yes. I'm benefiting.
How many years? 18?
18 going on 19, so this is what I'm really getting into. I felt really motivated to just let people know that don't stop grinding. I know this is the times that that some people are struggling. That there's some people that are gonna struggle really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some people that are, you know, well off, and I know their struggle, and I like to listen to how you get there, how you got there. So I listen to all that. Basically, what I'm just saying is for the people that grind to grind and keep on grinding, never forget the journey. Never forget the journey of how you're getting there, and never forget your goals, because it's always going to be hard. Nothing's easy in life. Nothing. I mean, look at us. We've struggled bad.
We did.
But nothing's easy.
No.
Nothing's been easy. It's easier now.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't.
Nope.
But this is the thing too that helps. I mean, we're not out there spending our money either, so that helps out a lot too. We're not just spending.
Well, you can't spend money that you don't have.
Well, yeah.
And that was us at the beginning.
Well, some people, I don't know about us.
Yeah, when the economy crashed.
I wasn't spending money that I didn't have.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, with the housing.
Yeah,
okay.
like how are you gonna go spend money when you don't have that money?
I think we all know people that are struggling. I know you know a couple. I know a couple people that struggle, that live check to check.
Yeah.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Well, we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah, and it's not fun. Not fun at all.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
And I get it. I have sympathy for those people that work hard, have 2 jobs, and they're still struggling. I feel them, man. I actually feel this connection with them because I've been there and I've done that. And I really feel that there's people out there that have had it easy, and I'm like, okay, I mean, that's great for you, but but if you're what did I say, you're entitled and you're a slob and all that crap,
it's gonna catch up.
Oh yeah, and I say it all the time. We said it earlier. Life has a strange way of slapping you on the face when you least expect it.
Mm-hmm.
To those people, it sucks, but it'll catch up to you. You cheat your way to the top, it's gonna catch up to you. It might not be today, tomorrow, but it's gonna catch up. Understand that. When hard work comes, it'll pay off. They'll know. They'll understand what hard work is. Because you know, when you work hard, you could sit back with your beer for your wine, and you be like, damn, that shit was great. You enjoy the journey. You could sit back and relax now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting to that point where I just want to just relax, enjoy the movie. For real. It's another part of my life.
I'm getting to the point where I want to start thriving in my career, you know, but I just have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's pandemic times. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you don't forget and the grind. There's people that get too comfortable.
No, I'm never comfortable.
You know, have you ever seen people that live off the system? They kind of hold themselves down because they get comfortable. They don't want to make more money, because if you do, they're not gonna get the amount of money they get from the government and the food stamps and housing and all that shit. They some of them choose to stay there because of that. Mm-hmm. The opportunities that you miss, that you might want to get a job that pays more, but if I make more, I can't live here no more. They're gonna kick me out of this. I've heard that.
It's so stupid.
I hear that shit at work, because there's some people that have that because they're part-timers and they don't make that much. But why wouldn't you want to make or better yourself?
Exactly. Why wouldn't you want more?
I don't get that. They're bitching and complaining. Oh man, I gotta leave. I gotta make under a certain amount a year, because now I can't claim this. I can't claim that. Or I'd rather be unemployed so I could get this. To me, that is a bunch of crap. But that's for another story.
Yeah.
Because there's people that really need it, and you know, they can't wait to get back to they're getting their life back on track. And there's other people that just want to stay living in the fucking circle because they're so used to it. So they have no excuse for people that live in the fucking gutters and they choose to stay there. I mean, it's America. I lived in it, in the fucking gutter. I worked my way up. I don't give a damn. And I'm still not done. I still want to accomplish a lot of things. I'm not done. I think I'm going to just leave it there. I just want to give you guys an example of what hard work is. I mean, I've given you some of the things that have molded me, that have made me.
Yeah, you're sharing your story.
Yeah.
Your truth.
I know most of the listeners have their own stories, their own struggles, their own demons they have to fight.
It's so weird and funny how, I grew up the opposite of you, because I remember first year of college, like I would get into fights with my mom, bickering, because all my friends had a job and I wanted a fucking job. And my mom was like, well, come work at the restaurant. I was like, no, it's not the same. But my mom, I remember vividly, my mom would tell me, I don't get it. Why are you going to go work for somebody else that's not even going to pay you what I can pay you and more?
Yeah.
And come work for me. It's a family business.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't want to.
But
So there I went with like trying to follow my friends. I worked at the Gap store. I worked at the children's place.
yeah.
I worked
At the school.
at the school, LA's Best.
Yeah.
And then after that, everybody, went their separate ways. And then I got my real job. I got certified as a tax preparer.
Yeah.
I did taxes. Then I worked for Chase Bank, in Calabasas, and then now I'm I've been staying ever since I got pregnant for the second time. With little Lucas.
Yeah, you went back to school.
I went back to school, but I'm still till this day, like in a sense, a stay-at-home mom.
Well, now because of what's going on, but you were working. Yeah.
Oh, I've always worked at the restaurant. Like I have taken other jobs,
Yeah.
but I've always worked for my mom.
Yeah.
That's never been a job that I could let go of.
No.
Because she always needs me.
So, pretty much, we all have different lives, different lifestyles, different journeys, different paths to where we want to go.
Yes.
Keep grinding. For real, keep grinding. Because if you're going through a bad day, it's going to all work out if you keep on grinding. It's going to work out even in your bleakest. Because we've been there. We've been there. Right, Heidi?
Yeah.
We've been there really bad. And my grind has not stopped. Always trying to better myself. Always trying to better my family's life. And it hasn't stopped. It has not. And it's never going to stop. Never going to stop. And I have friends that, that are succeeding. And I've seen some of your friends succeed. And, and I feel happy, believe it or not.
Me too.
Because I know how hard people work to get to where they're at.
Yeah.
I mean, not other people. Not all of them. But there's a lot of people that I know, like, to get to where they're at, they've had to have worked hard.
Sacrifice a lot.
They've had to. School, work, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All that. It's just, that's the way it is. And I guess I'll leave it there.
Yeah, it was a good conversation.
Yep.
Definitely.
So,
I hope somebody out there listens to this and feels, I don't know, somewhat empowered, motivated.
Well, I hope so.
I
hope so.
Yeah.
Now, the only bad outcome about grinding the way I've grinded is that I've grinded with physical work. Now my body is taking its toll and I'm kind of wearing down, so I need to slow down. That's the only bad problem about the way that I've grinded all my life.
Yeah.
So
can I tell you something?
What?
I think I've told you in private.
What?
I've told you that I can't wait for the time to come where I'm working and I'm doing financially good.
Yeah.
And I could tell you and be like, you know what, Gus? You don't have to work like that anymore.
But it's not going to happen.
Why?
Because it's not going to happen. This is part of me.
We talked about it.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, you said you probably go get like certified doing something.
Oh, yeah, something else, yeah.
That's what we've talked about.
And it's funny that you say that, is that...
Like, I feel like to me, when that day comes, that's going to be like my validation, like cha-ching, like I made it.
Yeah.
Kind of, like you're waiting to buy your home.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be like, I've made it.
Yeah.
Like I made it, like that moment.
Yeah.
Where you feel like
all
these emotions, pride and joy.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be my pride and joy when I'm like, you know what? You don't have to put your body through that anymore.
Well, I'm still waiting.
I know.
Yeah, and one more thing. I just want to add.
We'll get there, Gus.
I just want to add this. For the people that are looking for that journey, that looking for that inspiration to just go out there and like slay whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. Last couple examples. I bought my first car cutting hair. That's another side hustle I did. I cut hair from a lot of my friends in high school. I learned. I became really good at it. I thought I was gonna become a barber. I really thought I was.
And I think that's a gift that you have. And
Okay, hold on. So I bought my first car. I put down my first down payment of like $400, $500, all in $5 bills and dollar bills and some change. For real.
That's amazing.
I did that when I was 21. I bought my own truck or my own pickup truck or whatever. I did that. And not to mention a lot of stuff. So that was a side hustle I did and I accomplished. I became also a DJ. I used to charge. I wasn't the best. I became good at it at the end. But at the beginning, my brother's a DJ. He would tell him, hey, my brother's a DJ, come and DJ. And they would pay me and I would suck balls because I didn't know what to do. I wasn't the one promoting
but I just love the fact that you're so obedient. You would be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, but because it was money, I was like, okay, let's go. I mean, I'll practice as much as I can, but
you're like, I'll figure it out.
Back in the day, you didn't have like your little laptop that would kind of put everything on like mix it for you. Nah, you had to mix it yourself. Mm-hmm. So I had that, and it just and including, you know, there was a time where I was washing trash bins, and do you remember that?
I remember.
I was doing trash bins, washing trash bins, and then my job, I would say, before I got the position I got now, I was driving very far. It took me an hour and a half to get to where I wanted. But I had a goal of what I wanted and the things that with the position that I was going to get, that my life and my family's life was going to change. And it has.
Your work site was about 2 hours away from home.
Yes, but I knew and I didn't see you guys. I would come late at night and then I would get up again. And by the time you guys got home from school and work and all that shit, I wasn't home no more. And it was like that for a year and a half. And I mean, the struggle's real, man. I've been there. That's when I tell you guys, hey, keep on grinding because
for 2 years you lived in your car.
So yeah, that's my locker room, and people don't see that. People don't never want. This is the thing, man. People are there when you have your nice home and a lot, but where are they when you're struggling? That's the part, man.
Nobody is there.
So enjoy your journey. I know it's hard on tough times, but enjoy it. Well, maybe not enjoy it, but remember it.
Well, remembering it, being in the moment, is enjoying it, because that's the message that Kobe Bryant sent.
So so just like Kobe said, Mamba out, Mamba mentality, guys. So yeah, let's leave it there. This is Gus with the Everything Goes podcast. Thanks, Heidi, for joining me.
Of course, anytime.
And I hope any listener out there, if you like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And if it's that motivational, I hope it's someone. Sometimes it just takes one person to listen. That's what it took for me. I saw some of my oldest friends, and you know, I would tell myself, damn, I could do that. And I challenged myself, and I'm still there. I'm still challenging myself deep down inside. So this is Gus. Heidi, thank you again. And remember, guys, you could always catch us on the Everything Goes podcast, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and listen to us on Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you guys catch your podcast on. And that's it. And I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks.
Bye.
Peace. Heidi, once again, thank you. All right, guys. Bye. Peace.